Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful Monday for the fall. Here in late November, going on Thanksgiving week, Eagles defeat the Rams to improve to 10-2 on the to 9-2 on the season. Let's break it down.
Fasten your seatbelts for the realest Eagles and Sixers YouTube man! One who plays no clickbait and gets to the point! The myth, the legend, Nicky Steves! Come to my channel, you know the deal, yo boy, always keeps things real. I'm simply statue, think they slate, dropping unrealistic man, 2K takes for the clip. Even though cats like that get views closer to the millie, never hear me preach, look on to Philly. Before you watch the Eagles all the way through the early 22, authentic talk, forget what others do. Come to my channel, you know the deal, yo boy, always keeps things real. The 24/7, 365 way, sports content for the reals that feel the day.
Happy Monday afternoon, folks. I hope Eagles fans are having a great day. I know Sunday night put you in a great mood watching the Philadelphia Eagles defeat the Los Angeles Rams 37-20 on Sunday Night Football on the road at SoFi Stadium to improve to 9-2. And I'm sure some of y'all may have went to the game because it seemed like for the second straight year, SoFi Stadium had a lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans packing the house to try and support the Birds because Eagles fans travel well and they showed up to Los Angeles last night. That's right, baby. Hollywood was invaded by the Eagles gang and it turned into Phillywood, folks. That's right. We took over LA. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Eagles were in command. So from that, I'm happy about that. Eagles fans showed up. They supported, and the Eagles certainly played up to expectations. But you know what the main thing we're going to talk about in this one is Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley submitted his case in his argument to be the MVP with his phenomenal performance yesterday. So this is probably going to turn into the Saquon praise show for a little bit, but there's very good reason behind it, folks, because Saquon Barkley had himself a career day yesterday. We're going to go break down the statistics in just a moment. You guys probably already seen it, but we're going to break it down just a moment. First, I'm going to share the link with YouTube in the chat, in the community tab, to let people know we live on this thing and we here to talk Eagles football. Let's do that. And now we're going to break down Saquon Barkley's performance yesterday. You guys saw it with your own eyes. He was the main reason we won this game, but we got to talk about it. Folks. Saquon Barkley, we're going to start off, talk about the dominance. 255 rushing yards in this game. for Saquon Barkley. There it is, 255 rushing yards, most in a game in team history, breaking LaShawn McCoy's record. He also had 47 receiving yards, 302 all-purpose yards, and that's the record, 302 all-purpose yards over Deuce Staley, 296 against the Cowboys in 2000. And also you had that LaShawn McCoy game, 217 all-purpose yards. And ironically, it broke the record for the most yards given up against the Rams by DeMarco Murray when he was a Cowboy back in 2011. Ironic because Murray was a former Eagle. So all around, just a great game for Saquon Barkley, folks. I cannot emphasize it. It's an excellent performance. And this was the Saquon Barkley show. It's crazy because in the first half, we kind of got, usually we're used to slow starts in the first half, but by first half standards, we got off to a solid start. We got 13 points in the first half. We got a few field goals and a touchdown out of it. That's nice for a first half effort. And Saquon Barkley had over 70 yards in the first half. I mean, we set the tone right off the bat. Sure, the Rams marched down the field. They looked like they were going to score early, but then we got the fumble on Kyren Williams. That changed the momentum of the game, and that goes to show the importance of the opening drive, folks. I emphasize that Kyren Williams fumble on the Rams opening drive because that right there played a huge, I emphasize again, a huge role in setting momentum for this game because we followed that up by going down the field, getting a field goal. Now, we didn't get a touchdown, but we got a field goal. We got points. That at least gives us momentum going forward. And that goes to show how those opening drives are important to momentum. Then the Rams did go down the field, score a touchdown, but we ended up bouncing back with a field goal. And then a big momentum center came when Brandon Graham, who we did unfortunately lose late in the game for the season, got a big sack on Stafford in the first half. That was a key momentum setter too. Some of those little plays on defense played a role in setting momentum for the offense. The fumble on the opening drive, the sack by Brandon Graham when they were up 7-6 to force fourth down. Those little plays played a key role in this game. And that paved the way for the offense to do their work. And Saquon, hey, he started off, first half, it was the Saquon AJ show. They were helped out. We didn't have Devontae Smith, so we locked in on AJ Brown. And we have to talk about that. And I'll get to that in a second. And just creating the banner right now. But yeah, we did. So we're going to talk about AJ Brown because we thought going into this one, it might have an effect in this game, but it didn't. And I'll get back to Saquon in a second, folks. Don't worry. I'm not done talking about Saquon. So I'm going to bounce around a little bit, but we're talking about the whole game. So we're going to bounce around from subject to subject a little bit. So forgive me if it seems like I'm rolling around, if I'm moving and bouncing all over the place subject-wise. But yeah, AJ Brown stepped up. He had himself an excellent game. Helped add some balance to our offense along with the run game. I can't stop. So I got to give AJ Brown praise because he really stepped up and did what he needed to in the situation. Not that I didn't expect him to. Of course, I expected him to. But actually seeing it happen, that was great. I'm so glad that Saquon Barkley stepped up and did what he had to do. And there was, right, so yeah, AJ Brown was right on the passing game as well, keeping things rolling. Especially that first half. We got 13 points out of it in the first half. Okay, nice. We're not usually the fastest team, but we did it. Then we come out. Then we get into the second half. The second half, it took no time to unfold. Another key momentum setter. That's why I said in my keys to victory on my preview on Friday night that it was important we started off fast. We got the 13-7 lead at halftime. We got enough points going in the first half. Then we get the ball to start the second half. You guys that saw the game knows what happens. Saquon Barkley takes the ball, 70 yards, scores a touchdown right at the beginning of the second half. And Then that breaks the game open for us. So now we're up 20-7. That's why I emphasized it was important. We got off to a hot start in the first half. 13 points, it was good enough. And then we followed up 13 first half points with another touchdown. And that was just phenomenal. You couldn't have asked for a better start to the game. And here we are, we're balling this one. We are up 20-1. We're up 20-7 early in the second half. And that's just not it. That's the icing on the cake. And then Saquon gets another long touchdown run in the second half. That was really the momentum setter that really put this game away and put it in our favor. In the first half, we did good. It was competitive, but we did good. Then second half, where we're usually our hottest as a team, we were just rolling in that second half. And Saquon Barkley had a good first half, but then he had a phenomenal second half. And that was one of my keys to victory. Like I said, start off hot. And we started off hot enough and then just built momentum in the second half and put the game away. And sure, the Rams scored a touchdown in garbage time, but guess what? It was garbage time anyway. I mean, and then they tried the onside kick, which, without, you got to announce the onside kick. It makes it pretty near impossible for teams to recover. But even then, that doesn't make a difference because we were up huge at that point. The Rams, even if they did recover the onside kick, they would have had to get another touchdown, then a second onside kick and another touchdown. Point is, they weren't coming back. So having to announce the onside kick at that garbage time touchdown did nothing to change the game because they would have needed 3 scores and 2 successful onside kicks. That wasn't going to happen in that short time. So it didn't make a difference. But around great performance. And the defense, too. I need to talk about, so Saquon Barkley, to my hat talk. Before I switch to defense, let's wrap up the Saquon talk. He made his case for MVP. I got that as the banner, but I haven't gotten into it yet. Now we're going to get into it. You look at what this team has done with Saquon Barkley, the addition of him. Some people are going to argue that both Hurts and Saquon are MVP candidates. And I say, look, no offense to Jalen Hurts. He's done good this season, but he's also had some questionable moments, especially early on where he was fumbling and throwing picks. You had a lot of fans, including myself, criticizing the guy early in the season. But now, he's managed to get away from the sloppy play. But that also plays, no offense to Jalen, a bigger factor in Saquon Barkley. Because Saquon Barkley, ever since the difference between last year and this year is, for one, the team's more confident running the ball with Saquon than they were DeAndre Swift. Now, to be fair, you can partially blame last year's play calling for the fact that DeAndre Swift didn't really do much, and that's partially true. However, it was important we got Saquon because now the team's more confident running the ball than they were in DeAndre Swift. DeAndre was just a temporary deal after they lost Miles Sanders to the Panthers, so we brought him in, but we weren't really confident with him as the number one back. And that played a role in the horrific play calling last year. Whereas this year with Saquon, we're running the ball more. And it's playing a huge factor. Because I Am Carl, a longtime Eagles content creator, did his video. He made an excellent point. And you know what I'll do? I'll share it in the chat for you guys if you guys want to check him out. And the reason I'm recommending it is because he made great points in this video. So I will share that real quickly with you guys, so you guys can check out the video for yourself. Talk to you when he was putting together his case for why Saquon should be the MVP. But there you go. Here it is. It's in the chat right there. That's the link to I Am Carlo's video. Excellent Eagles content creator, very knowledgeable. And I'm going to reiterate some points he made about why Saquon should be MVP. One of the reasons why, you look at the team, the difference. Think about it for a second. If we get rid of if Saquon's not there, say we brought DeAndre Swift back, or say we drafted somebody, or we went for a free agent, like a temporary free agent deal, what you think this team would be 9-2? Do you? Chances are they could possibly be looking at possibly a 6-5, 5-6 team without Saquon, because he's made a huge difference for us. A huge difference. He's helped break so many games open for us. He did it last week against the Commanders. He did it last night against the Rams. He's done it countless times. He helped us out against the Giants, had a field day against his former team. Now, I'm still confident we would have beat the Giants without Saquon, because that team's a complete wreck. But I'm saying some of these games, like the Commanders game, without Saquon, that might not have been a win. Without Saquon against the Packers, that probably would have been a loss. So now you're taking 9-2, drop it to 7-4 right there without the guy. And so the point being is this team would not be as dominant without Saquon. So I got to consider him the leading candidate for MVP over Jalen Hurts, because Saquon's truly made a difference in this game on the round game, especially that week 1 game against the Packers where Hurts didn't have the best game in the world. Saquon stepping up on the ground helped us edge out that week 1 win in Brazil. That's one point right there where Saquon was the most valuable player. Against the Commanders, he was valuable. Last night, anyone that saw that game knows he was the most valuable player, especially those 2 huge runs in the second half. The one right off the bat just put us straight ahead 20-7, with foot on the gas pedal rest of the game. And that other big 70-plus yarder, those obviously helped break the game open. So you saw the value of Saquon on this team. You see the offense is playing much more efficiently with him. In this case, yeah, he's definitely the lead. Okay, he's definitely the leader for the Eagles, the Eagles MVP for sure. League MVP, we still got to wait and see how the rest of the season plays out before we get there, but he's cementing a valid argument for a contender for regular season MVP with his performance these past couple weeks, especially last night. I got to give that shout out to Saquon Barkley right there. Phenomenal performance. Broke the franchise record for most rushing yards in the game, most all-purpose yards in the game. Phenomenal performance by Saquon. And he could very easily break LaShawn McCoy's record right before the end of the season for most yards by an Eagle in a season. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Fly, Eagles, fly. As always, we always supporting this team. And we also got to give credit to the defense, too, because as great as the offense was, the defense deserves props. Because we got to look, because going into this game, we looked at it I was looking at it from the perspective of, let's see how far this. That's right. Thanks a lot. Yep. Giants did us a great favor. Absolutely. Yep. Did us a great favor by paying Daniel Jones a few years back. Because without that contract, we wouldn't have had Saquon. They paid Saquon to Daniel Jones. We wouldn't have him now. So, yes, thank you, Giants, for paying Daniel Jones and allowing us to land him during the offseason. And to the Eagles, their defense did step up in that win against the Rams. Because going into this matchup, this was going to be a huge test for the secondary. How far has the Eagles secondary come along? Because we looked at it going into it, we're like, okay, we got 2 of the best receivers in the NFL. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. 2 of the best receivers in the games. It was going to be a big test for the secondary, and they stepped up. They kept them in check, and not to mention 5. To emphasize, 5 sacks, folks. That's right. Defense is playing better every week. Yeah, and it does feel like it for sure. Because we look at where we were the first 4 weeks of the season. The defense in 3 of those 4 games was looking like trash. The only game we looked solid in those first 4 was the Saints win in week 3. And now we see what they've done since the bye. And then things have certainly gotten better since. We got to beat Detroit. Yep, that's right. And like Greg pointed out, to his point, he said we got to beat Detroit. Because we look at the NFC right now, the 2 best teams in the conference are the Eagles and Lions. there's a good possibility they're going to get home field advantage. We're going to get the number 2 seed the way things are playing out. And we could end up playing the Lions in the conference championship game, with that game deciding who's going to win, who's going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. That's a huge game. Now, that's a great point. And that's definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye out as Eagles fans. Now, as far as last night goes, the defense did their thing. Early on, it was looking like it was going to be a struggle. Because remember, we had that first drive where Matthew Stafford had that nice run up the middle, which when I saw it, I'm like, you know what? I wasn't even mad because we brought the heat. Stafford was smart enough to see the hole in the middle and run for the first down. So I wasn't even mad at that play. I actually gave Matthew Stafford props. I was like, okay, respect to Stafford. He made a nice play. And then Kyren Williams was running the ball right down the field. He got in the scoring territory. I'm like, uh-oh, is it going to be one of those nights? Then we got the fumble. But then the second drive, we gave up the touchdown. And I tweeted at the time, oh, this is going to be a long night for the defense. However, fortunately, the defense got everything together. Brandon Graham, he had that big sack in the first half where he got to Stafford when we were up 7-6 to force a fourth down, which I point that out as a key play because that set momentum in the Eagles getting the ball back. And that was a key play, as well as the fumble on the opening drive to help us go downfield, get the first points of the game. Because if the Rams would have been up 14-3 early, who knows? That could have been an entirely different game. So I got to give the defense credit for forcing fumble, getting to Stafford 5 times. That played a key role in this outcome. But this good performance by the Eagles defense did come with a sacrifice, and we got to talk about it. Unfortunately, our guy, Brandon Graham, is out for the season. I hate to come on here and say something negative after a great performance, but we got to talk about both the good and the bad. I mean, all around, it's an excellent game, not taken away from the team, but we got to acknowledge we lost Brandon Graham for the season. We can't completely ignore it. And it's a shame, too, because Brandon Graham, he's helped us out. He's one of the leaders on this defense. He's great for pass rushing, and now there goes one of our lead pass rushers out with torn triceps. He's out for the rest of the season. That's tough right there. That is tough. But now that's going to have a significant effect on us, on our pass rush going forward. And it seems like because Brandon Graham said that he plans on moving on after the season. So sadly, it seems like that's going to be the end for Brandon Graham, an injury. I mean, you always want players to go out on a great note and have a great farewell, but it can't always happen that way. We know life isn't always fair and we don't always get the storybook endings we want in life. And for Brandon Graham, I'm sorry that it had to come to an end like this, but at the same time, while we're on the subject of BG, look, it's like, I'm sorry it ended with an injury, but thank you for everything you've done for this organization. Thank you for being a leader. Thanks for helping our defense every chance you got and being loyal to the Eagles organization. As a fan, I appreciate your services, and thanks for helping us out with this right here. So, Brandon Graham, thanks a lot. Your spot in the Eagles Hall of Fame will come one day. And as far as your future endeavors go, best of luck, man. And hopefully we can win you another ring on the way out this season. So, Brandon Graham, hoping for a full recovery so you can still live a healthy life. And best of luck to you in your future endeavors, man. But at the same time, we got to talk about it a little bit because this is going to have an effect on the defense. This is going to force the Eagles to change their strategy as far as who's going to be the lead pass rusher now. And I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm actually going to put that on my community tab in my Twitter as a poll question, asking you guys, who do you think should be the lead pass rusher for the Eagles now? I'll throw out some options while we're still at it. I mean, you got Jalen Carter could be the potential lead rusher now. Jordan Davis. I mean, you guys comment and let me know what you think in the chat, who you think should be the lead rusher now that Brandon Graham's out, because that's going to have a significant effect on the season going forward. And I don't mean to sound like the Debbie Downer after a great win, but it is something. It was part of the game. We got to talk about it. And those are some names I could think of. You guys want to comment? Let me know who you think. Feel free to do so. Another thing we got to talk about, Darius Slay. Look, Darius Slay, even though as much as I love Big Play Slay, thanks for everything he's done for this organization. I know him and his wife are beloved figures in the Philly sports community. So thanks for everything you've done. But Big Play Slay, he's struggling to stay in games this season. And great. Granted, he really helped our defense during the rebuild when we were after we crashed down from that first Super Bowl run with Peterson and company. You know, Darius Slay's been here. He helped us out during that 2021 rebuild season. The Super Bowl year, he's helped us out at times last year. And even this year at times, even though he's not the same player that he was, he has helped us out a little bit, but he's constantly in and out of the lineup. I think it is time we got to move on from Darius Slay. Because, look, in the football, you can respect the player for what they've done for the organization and give them props. And in Darius Slay's case, I can respect what he's done for this Eagles organization. But there comes a time where everything runs its course in life. And I feel like Darius Slay's time with the Eagles has kind of ran its course. He's not the same player that he once was. He's constantly in and out of the lineup. He got injured again last night. And furthermore, you got a young Quinyon Mitchell, a young Cooper DeJean who's excellent in the slot. You still got some good pass rushers. I think it's time to say, Darius, thanks for all that you've done. We appreciate your work and commitment to the Eagles, and but we got to move on. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And I'm sure Darius Slay still holds a valuable role, even though his on-the-field production's dipped. He's still a good mentor for Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean and company. But, you know, once the season's over, it's time to move on because he's constantly in and out of the lineup. He's had moments where he's getting burnt more frequently than he used to. So I do think it's time to move on. But it is but hey, at the end of the day, we're not going to harp on and be negative. We just came here to talk about the main stories we need to. We talked about the performance in the game. You know, Saquon having an MVP-like performance, the defense stepping up and holding the Rams to only 20 points with two of the best receivers in the game. We also, you know, we talked about the injuries, but you know what? We got to get, but before we go, let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? I did hear we got Nick Sirianni had a nice little speech in the locker room. I'm going to share that with you guys. Give me one moment. Once I share the screen with you guys will get to hear Coach Sirianni's victory speech.
That was unbelievable defense. That was unbelievable on offense. Franchise record for Saquon, 255 yards. 300 total. Now, hey, listen to me. Listen. I want to keep it at this. Everybody watched that game. And everyone's calling you and telling you how good you are. We have not done shit. Put your head down and work. It's the work that's got us here. You guys have been playing your ass off, and it's the work that's got us here. All right, let's pray. Guys.
All right, there's a nice little speech from Sirianni about about shouting out the players, but also not letting the praise get to your head too early. And to answer your question, if my schedule works out for it, I might consider it, but I'd have to look at my schedule. My schedule on the weekend sometimes, it doesn't always pan out for me to stream games, but if I have the opportunity to, it might happen someday down the line. So I'll consider it, but I don't have a direct answer at the moment. But it's definitely something I'll consider. And while we're at it, give a shout out to Alshon Jeffrey who stopped by. I know it kind of looks like, it's funny because from a distance I saw that it kind of looked like Tyrese Maxey, but then I look closer, I'm like, he's a little bit older than Tyrese. That's not him. And plus the Sixers played a game yesterday. So for anyone wondering, that is Alshon Jeffrey, who was still with the Eagles during his Hurts rookie season. He showed up to represent the Eagles. Yeah, so shout out to Alshon Jeffrey, still loyal to the Eagles. You know, he remembers he was there for that Super Bowl run, and he showed up. Support us. I'm scrolling through. Let's see, anything interesting that I want to share with you guys? Let's see. Phillywood, I shared that with you guys. Alshon Jeffrey. Ooh, wicked win. You got the Jalen AJ Brown. It's a nice little graphic right there. Phillywood, I shared that. Okay, but I think we covered everything we're going to. We've had the fun we're going to with this one. Before I do head on out, I'm going to do a quick water toast for us. And Greg John replied, Sixers are terrible so far in reaction to my comments about that Alshon Jeffrey had the same haircut as Tyrese Maxey, but it obviously wasn't Tyrese because that guy doesn't look at Tyrese would be too young to be that guy. But yeah, it's crazy because Eagles and Sixers, it's two opposite ends of the spectrum now. Eagles are balling. They're absolutely dominated. No pun intended. I'm doing a basketball taunt to talk about the football team. But yeah, Eagles are on fire. Sixers are in the exact opposite boat, which I talked about that on Saturday. I had a special guest join me, Straight to the Point Sports and Entertainment. But hey, Eagles are flying high. We're here to talk about them. Let's just take some time to relax and appreciate what the Eagles are doing. And before I head on out, quick toast to the Eagles. Yes, folks. Yes, folks. And we also going to do a quick song as well. I'm going to get the song going in the background before the toast. Let's do this. I'm going to take off the headphones. All right, we got an ad. I'm going to mute it. Then I'll share the screen with you guys. Give me 1 second once this ad goes away. Now we ready. I'm going to share the screen with you guys. Play it in full screen. Let's play the song, folks. Ready? Here we go.
Eagles fight, score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles fly, on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Yes, folks. I'll leave it on that note. To everyone that joined, thanks for joining the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to Greg and John, anyone else that stopped by. Whether you stopped by for most of the stream, part of the stream, even if you caught it on the replay later Monday night, Tuesday, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day or night. It's your boy, Nicky Stees, signing off. Until next time, peace.